Are you ready to dive into the fascinating world of the heart? Today, I'll be your guide as we explore the structure and function of this incredible organ. Let's get started. First up, the heart is a muscular organ located in the thoracic cavity, specifically in the mediastinum, nestled comfortably between your lungs. It acts as the pump of the circulatory system, pushing blood throughout your entire body. The heart has 4 chambers, 2 atria at the top, and 2 ventricles at the bottom. Now let's talk about the heart's protective casing, the pericardium. It's a double-walled sac with 2 layers. The outer layer, called the fibrous pericardium, is tough and protective. The inner layer, known as the serous pericardium, is further divided into the parietal layer and the visceral layer, which we also call the epicardium because it covers the heart muscle. Speaking of the heart muscle, the wall of the heart is made up of 3 layers. The outermost layer is the epicardium, followed by the thick middle layer known as the myocardium. This is the powerhouse, the part that contracts to pump blood. Lastly, we have the endocardium, the smooth innermost layer that lines the chambers of the heart. Let's focus on the chambers and valves. The heart's 4 chambers include the right atrium, which receives deoxygenated blood from the body, and the left atrium, which receives oxygenated blood from the lungs. The right ventricle pumps deoxygenated blood to the lungs, while the left ventricle pumps oxygenated blood to the rest of the body. Because the left ventricle needs to pump blood throughout the entire body, it has a thicker wall than the right ventricle. Valves are crucial for directing blood flow. The tricuspid valve sits between the right atrium and right ventricle, and the mitral valve between the left atrium and left ventricle. Then we have the pulmonary valve between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery, and the aortic valve between the left ventricle and the aorta. Understanding the flow of blood through the heart is vital. Deoxygenated blood from the body returns to the right atrium, flows through the tricuspid valve into the right ventricle, and is then pumped through the pulmonary valve into the pulmonary artery to the lungs. Oxygenated blood returns to the left atrium, flows through the mitral valve into the left ventricle, and is finally pumped through the aortic valve into the aorta to nourish the body. But the heart itself needs nourishment too. This is where the coronary arteries come in. The right coronary artery supplies blood to the right atrium, right ventricle, and parts of the conduction system. The left coronary artery splits into the left anterior descending artery and the circumflex artery, providing blood to the left atrium, left ventricle, and parts of the interventricular septum. Let's put this into context with some examples. A heart attack, or myocardial infarction, occurs when a coronary artery is blocked, depriving part of the myocardium of oxygen. Without prompt treatment, the affected tissue can die, impairing the heart's ability to pump blood. In congestive heart failure, the ventricles can't pump blood effectively. The left ventricle may become enlarged and weakened, leading to fluid buildup in the lungs and other parts of the body. In summary, the heart's anatomy is a complex yet elegantly organized structure essential for life. Each component, from the chambers and valves to the coronary arteries, plays a critical role in its overall function. Understanding these elements provides insight into how the heart works and what can go wrong when it malfunctions. Got questions? Drop them in the comments below. Until next time, keep your heart healthy and your mind curious.